Hello and welcome, I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Heroes with our martial arts super reflex scrapper, Silver Phoenix, on the Everlasting server. I just got a timed mission from Phillipa Moreau. The Council is attacking a Kree lab, so even though the Kree are evil, we've got to save the Kree from the Council. And so here we go. So I came over here and got set into it. Took me a couple minutes. We have an hour and 11 minutes. I'm sure it won't take that long to do this mission. But it is a lab, and as I've said before, this could be up to 5 levels. It's interesting. I wonder how many people know that. You know, that was like a known thing back during live, and I wonder how many people actually know that. And here's a question: if I'm saving the Kree, can't wait for somebody. I can't wait to break symbols. If these guys are fighting the Kree, why is this Kree tank fighting me? Shouldn't he be helping me? Wow, wow, he's pounding me. Jeez. Why did he hit me so bad? 22% chance he had to hit me. He rolled a .02, my goodness. He had a 52% chance to hit me with Frost, so that must have been... Okay, so he had a 22% chance to hit me some of the time and 52 the others. That must have been the AoE. I really need the AoE defense, but you can't get it until level 35. There's nothing you can do about it. So we need 4 scientists to rescue, and we gotta save their research. Okay, so let's click on this. I don't know if that's going to save their research or not. Access the computer. So we saved their research, and the clue found was the research file taken from a Kree computer indicates that Kree scientists were performing experiments. So they were performing experiments on the council. So these guys are in cahoots. Just ambushed me. Jerks. Okay, take this guy out first. And then these guys are ambushing me too, huh? You guys want a piece of this? You can have a piece of it if you want, like this. Goodbye. Okay, so now the question is, are they going to keep coming? Because if so, I may as well just intercept them. Yep, there they are. Oh, these researchers slow you, which I don't like. There we go. Let's just go ahead and intercept them if they're going to keep coming. Any more? You guys want another piece of me? Guess not. Thought you were so tough. Alright. So let's go ahead and go up the elevator to the next level. We have 4 scientists to save. And we've got to defeat the raid leader and his men, so we're going to have to defeat them too. The boss, I guess, that's in here. This is not a story arc. I'm trying to get to a story arc of Phillipa. We may have to get all the way up here before we get her story arc. I don't really know. I hope not. But we're getting to the higher levels now. And in the higher levels, and that room is kind of tough, so I'm going to just pull. But in the higher levels, I think they still have a longer time before you get into the story arc. So we're done with the training levels now, right? We're into... level 31, and so they're not going to worry about making us grind and stuff because we're not noobs anymore. Come on. There we go. See if we can stun him. Yep. Try to knock him down. Yep. It's always good. Stun. There we go. Look at all these guys. Alright, let's taunt. And pull them back. I don't really like pulling as a scrapper, but that room has got too many spawns in it. And they're too close. Stun. Yep. Let's knock him down so he can't wander away from me. And then kick his butt. Okay, nice crit there. Yeah, see, look at all these guys. And that's because there's a hostage there. So let's pull these guys out. I really hate pulling at this level, but when they're +2 and there's a room full of like 4 or 5 different spawns, that's just too much. Alright. Scientist saved. We don't need the awaken. We'll delete that. There's a guy over here. Let's taunt him. Right, because if you look, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spawns in that. 4 or 5 spawns in one room. Right, this is why you don't want to go straight in there. Right, because it's just too many. And then there's another spawn behind them. So you don't want to go straight in there because it's just too many. It's just stupid to try and go in there and fight them all at once. I mean, unless you want to use up all your inspirations for a fight against lieutenants and stuff. You know, and these guys are red and orange to us, so you know, you gotta use discretion here. Alright, now I think we can move in. Is there somebody over here now too? No, so it's just the middle guys. Alright, here we go. Try to go. Alright. And then this guy. I'm sure it's going to turn out that the Kree were actually working, not just working a little bit with the, oops, I meant to move that, just working a little bit with the council, but actually they're working together because the Kree are bad guys. Alright. Knock them both over, we like to see that. Yeah, it's interesting when you're talking to people about the game and stuff, and they're talking about how the game works, and the different understanding that we have based on when you first got into the game, when you first started playing it. I was talking to Adele, who is one of my members, the player for my supergroup, one of my supergroup mates. How did I miss this guy 3 times in a row? And she was talking about how Stalkers are really good at critting, and I was talking about how, and I was talking about in the past, that the Assassin Strike, oh my gosh, the Assassin Strike is interruptible now when you are hidden. So the way a Stalker works, and I'm going to start posting some Stalker videos at some point, when the way a Stalker works, you go into hide, you disappear, you're like invisible, and then you walk up to somebody and you hit your assassination power, and you assassinate. You like do a like Assassin Strike. It's like a super crit, but you have to be hidden, and you do this thing where you like crouch down, you wait a second, and then you use it. If anything happens, like the guy walks away from you or you move, it gets interrupted. If you're not hidden and you're just in combat and you use that attack, it just instantly hits, and it has a very high chance of critting. And she was talking about how great that is, and I said, well, at launch, right, like back in 2005 when City of Villains first came out, that power was interruptible even if you weren't hidden. And so it was very hard to hit villains with it because they could interrupt you. So you really couldn't use it in normal combat. And she kept saying, well, yes, you can. And I'm like, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about when the game first came out. The Stalkers were considered decidedly inferior to scrappers, and especially on teams, they um, because they had to do the hiding and the assassinating, and that like made them slower than scrappers, right? Not that you could have a scrapper on the same team as a stalker, because they hadn't proliferated the archetypes yet across the different hero and villain groups, so you couldn't play a stalker and a scrapper on the same team because you couldn't have a villain stalker, a scrapper, or a hero stalker. But a lot of the stalkers used to complain that scrappers were demonstrably better as characters because of the crit chance that scrappers had that stalkers really didn't have, except when they were hidden, right? And so they've given the stalkers some crit chances when they're not hidden. Now, Adele was arguing this makes stalkers demonstrably better, period. Not sure that's true, but it's definitely different from how it was in the past. Alright, so this is 2 spawns, but we're fine, because they're yellow. And you can see the AoEs are hurting me because I don't have good AoE defense, but I'm still doing well enough against these guys that it's not a problem. That, come on. Alright. So we got some lieutenants in here. Alright, I better rest up, because I don't have any green pills except this one, and I don't want to use it. Yeah, I mean, you have to realize too, like, originally, I don't know if Super Reflexes was available for stalkers. It might have been, but they had like ninjutsu, they had ninja blade instead of broadsword, things like that. They proliferated the power sets, that's what they called it, you know, where they started letting, you know, like stalkers use tanker power sets and tankers use stalker power sets and that sort of thing. But originally, like, you couldn't have a fiery defense scrapper. You couldn't have a martial arts tanker originally. Now you can. So they've changed a lot of things over the years. We were talking about the scrapper crit and how it works better on higher ranked enemies, and apparently whatever program Adele uses to calculate things doesn't actually say that. And I said, well, it's definitely true, and one of the other players in the chat said, yes, it's definitely true. And I said, look, I was one of the people who was instrumental in getting this crit put in. Historically, one of the complaints that people had on the City of Heroes forum was that scrappers, this is long before City of Villains came out, that scrappers didn't have a good role on a team, right? Tankers would hold the aggro, controllers would lock people down, defenders would buff and heal you, and blasters would do all this range damage. They did better damage than scrappers. So what is the role of a scrapper, right? And when we said, well, maybe scrappers should do better damage than blasters, the people who played blasters freaked out. No, we're glass cannons, we are weak in every other way, the one thing we have is damage, you shouldn't be taking that away from our characters. And so it was proposed, and I was not the one who suggested this, but I definitely liked it when it was proposed this, that scrappers should be the boss killers, right? That if you're in a room with, you know, a spawn with a large number of enemies, and they've got a boss and a couple of lieutenants and then a bunch of minions, the scrapper should target and go after the boss and leave the rest of the room to the tanker and everybody else. And so the developers actually ended up liking this idea, and then they came up with what scrappers could do to be boss killers, and this was the crits, right? Having a higher chance to crit by rank. So I don't know what the chance is, but say it's a 10% chance to crit a minion, and then it becomes like a 20% chance to crit a lieutenant, 30% chance to crit a boss, and a 40% chance or something to crit an arch-villain. And again, I'm making the numbers up, I don't know what the exact numbers are. And it doesn't actually say in the info here. It's actually incorrect. What it says in the info is that you have this crit chance, 5% chance against minions and underlings. That's not true. It's not true for scrappers. It's true for other classes, but it's actually not true for scrappers. They have a higher chance of critting, and they have a much higher chance. And so if we look at this here, the higher the rank of the target, the greater the chance for a successful critical hit. But it doesn't say what it is, right? But that thing, this critical hit inherent, was that was the brainchild of a bunch of us on the City of Heroes forums, where we were talking about, we should be the boss killers, and I think it was Positron who came up with the crit idea, but that was his idea of here's how you can be the boss killers, right? And it was a good one. All right, so we're gonna kick these guys' butts. Free the last scientist. We defeated a boss. I think that was the raid leader. That's the end of the mission, but we're going to go ahead and beat these guys up because they're here. So we may as well. So yeah, that's a little bit of history for you. I was one of the people on the forum who insisted that Scrappers needed a role, and Boss Killer was the role we chose. The Boss Killer was the role that the majority of Scrappers wanted, and that Blasters and people who played Blasters and Tankers and stuff, you say this as if each person is a Blaster or Tanker, but the people who played Blasters, Tankers, and Controllers, Defenders, they were all okay with that. So the idea, as we pitched it, and as the developers eventually agreed to, was you come into a spawn, you're with a group, right? The Scrapper finds the biggest, baddest guy in the spawn, targets him, and goes after him, and leaves the rest of the spawn, the other 20 or 30 bad guys, to the rest of the team. And the Tanker gathers up all the other bad guys into his taunt, and the Blasters start blasting them, and the Defenders buff everybody, and the Controllers control everybody. And as Scrappers, we said, look, we're going to take this boss, just leave us to it. Just leave us alone and we'll take care of it. And that actually worked really well. Okay, so we're done with this mission. Got some more enhancements. Got some inspirations. We now have the tray exactly the way I want it. And we can head out. So that wasn't too bad for a time mission. Was it 3 levels, I think? And now we can call Phillipa. So the council was angry that the Kree was investigating their super soldiers. I can understand that. After all, they'd hardly want the U.S. military to have access to such powerful technology. Apparently, they had inside help, too, from Rupert Peccary, the Corleones you fought. It turns out that he mistook you for council troops and sent his apologies. You did a good job saving that lab, Silver Phoenix. If the Kree research is a success, it may give us the tools we need to defeat the council. Don't trust the Kree. So now we have to save a Kree lab from the freak show. But I think I'm going to try to get some other contacts here. Oh, and one of the things I didn't mention, oops. So I added slots. Crane Kick now does a full 3 damage, right? So it now does 179 damage per hit, which is really awesome. If you compare to some of these other powers, 55 damage for Dragon's Tail, 76 damage for Thunder Kick, which is the best it can do, so this thing does more than double the damage of Thunder Kick. Storm Kick does 81. Eventually it'll do something like 120. So this will be doing 80, this will be doing 120, this will be doing 160. So this does like more than double of Thunder Kick and a little more than 50% more than Storm Kick. Alright, so we're going to have to do that, but before we save this lab, I actually think I want to grab some more missions from contacts. So let's see who else is in Founders Fall. Jenny Firkins, and the train station's right there, so I will click her. So we have her when we go into the the zone. But first, we got to get to the train station. Show me around the base, Jelly Girl. I kind of want to meet her. It's a cool concept. It's it's like she's using water and ice powers, but she like got attacked in a candy factory, I think, and she's basically made of green candy now. So it's pretty cool. And so all of her powers are like green. Oops. Okay, Jenny. Coming to see you. Whoa. That is some pretty powerful stuff over there. They're purple. So you gotta be careful. Founders Falls is level 30 to 40. 39. So most of the stuff in this zone is way over my head. I don't see anything near her. So let's give a talk to Jenny. And she says Paragon City is bowing under the weight placed upon her by the groups of the Kree and devouring Earth. Oh good, please give me some devouring Earth. Yes. I had a report that a mob of freaks is mounting a raid on an area known to be inhabited by devouring Earth. I don't know what their beef is with these creatures, but it's the innocent bystanders I worry about. And this is great. Let's do devouring Earth. Oh, we got to board a train. Alright, so time mission. So we'll do that first. This is the problem with trying to get more than one mission at a time. You friggin' never know when you're going to have to deal with you never know when you're going to have to deal with a time mission. I really wish they would take these out of the game, or at least make it so that the timer starts when you board the train. Or make it so that the timer stops if you log out, which I still don't think they do. Some whimsical freak has brought along a boombox that pounds out a rapid techno beat. So we gotta defeat Lawless and his crew. Haven't fought freaks in a while. These guys are definitely villains, I think pretty much right to the end, at least till level 40. They're going to be much easier now than they were in the 20s. Come on. There we go. Now remember they can res, so we gotta wait. There's some devouring Earth, the Geos. These guys are brutal. They can be very brutal, and if they put down the debuffing there, they put like a little debuffing thing down. I'll see if they do it. Some of the devouring Earth will put down like a little tiny thing that's like a, looks like a little volcano or a tree, and it will either buff them or debuff you. And you can see that they're like the clockwork in that they spawn. Come on, why is this not clicking? They spawn little minions that then are weak, but they come to annoy you. Alright, so we defeated them. So the question is, where is this guy going to be? And I think we need to do some super jumping here because this is a huge zone. And we are timed. So we got to see if we can find the boss. Let's see what the extent of this zone is like. How far can we go? Oh boy, this is huge. Alright, so this is the edge. Is that what we're looking for? Doesn't look like it. We're looking for a boss, but I'm also trying to find the edges of this zone. There's a glowy. Yeah, I saw that before. Forgot about it. Let's click. See what we get. Enzyme pills. Interesting. They're trying to get some kind of enzymes out of the devouring Earth, I bet. Alright, so we can't go over there because that'll knock us out of the zone, so we go around it. And I don't know if they might be at the island. We've been on this map before. There's the edge. I'm just trying to find the extent of it so I know just how big this stupid thing is. And so we know where to look. And there's the edge here. And then we come back. Alright, so now... Oh! Alright, well, we've aggroed these guys, so let's go ahead and hit them. And there's the buffer. So we gotta take the buffer out. It's buffing them. So that would heal them up. We don't want it healing them up. guy's a lieutenant. And then the Freak Smasher. See if we can knock him down. Alright, that's better. And of course, Darpain. Got him. Okay. But the question is... Oh, he's back up. Once wasn't enough for you, buddy? Okay. Now, part of the reason I have endurance problems is I've got super jump on. And that's because I'm looking around here. Sometimes the bosses are up here. But not this time, clearly. Herder. Lawless is what we're looking for. Anybody over here? No. And these guys used to drive my friends in my supergroup crazy because they were the fungoids and stuff. There's the boss. There he is. The fungoids used to have all these they throw out spores and stuff that put you to sleep. Fortunately, it doesn't work on a martial arts super reflex scrapper because it practice brawler. Excuse me. Alright, so we need to take the gunner out really fast. And then we're going to pound the crap out of the tank. Yeah, his AoE we can't do anything about. We only have like 7% defense against it, 8%. But if I can keep him on his butt enough... We're doing okay. Missed. No good there. Let's try to knock him down. Nope. You can see we're pouring the damage onto this guy. There's no way to stop him from doing that. And now with Focus Chi... Come on, come on. Got him. Alright. Completed the mission. So let me show you what the fungoids are like. Bedrock and fungoid. So let me hit the bedrock first. 1, 2, 3. Alright. So there is a debuff, I think, or a buff for him. And that, what he just threw at me, was a sleep. Alright, that's a sleep spell, you see? Right there, sleep. He's trying to throw a sleep at me, but it's only doing a 2 magnitude, and I have a 7 magnitude defense against sleep, so yeah, it's not going to work. There we go. So that's what I meant by the Devouring Earth doing mezzes. And I remember doing caves full of Devouring Earth with my friends who were like blasters and controllers, and they were just cursing because they kept getting put to sleep and everything. Alright, so we did that one. We're going to go back to Jenny and hopefully get her cell phone number. Just trying to see who's around. Hey, Jen. Well, Silver Phoenix, these pills that you found are remarkable. Each pill contains a potent package of enzymes that accelerate the rate at which the body metabolizes a new material. When combined with a Devouring Earth mutagen, these pills would make a person mutate at an alarming rate. See, this is what the freak show were after. My guess is they wanted to increase the rate at which they metabolize Excelsior. It's a good thing you got to them first. And there's a story arc, the Unity Plague. A group of scientists are under attack by the devouring Earth. They're doing critical work towards understanding and maybe even reversing the process the creatures use to convert people to their own kind. I want you to secure these scientists from the devouring Earth. There are 2 missions in Alice Park, which is great. Now let's see if we can grab another contact. Well, let's see. We're on a story arc. We don't need to really grab another contact right now. Let me see. Let's see. I can show you around the base, JG, if you don't mind someone who is just a new recruit and not an officer. I don't know if she's already gone around the base or not. Train station. I'm trying to see if any snipers are around here. They used to hang out up on these buildings. I used to like to super jump around here and like kick their butts, but I'm probably too low a level to do that right now. The Gatsby. Yeah, this I think is where my character used to live, in one of these apartment buildings with the cone tops, the pyramid tops, like over here. And I thought it was around here that the snipers used to hang out. I wonder if they took them out because people got pissed. People used to get really mad. You know, you're running along and all of a sudden, bam, you're just hit and knocked down if you're not a scrapper or a tanker or something and you don't have the mez defense. I don't see any guys up here. Oh, see, I just got hit by a sniper. I just got hit by one. Special Agent Sharpshooter hits you. Sniper rifle. 92% chance to hit. And he rolled a 43. That guy is a sniper. That's not a nemesis, though. He's level 40, so yeah, I'm not going to try to fight him. But it drives people crazy because they hit you from range like that. You don't even see them. And I used to go around, when I was like level 36 or 7, I used to just go around here looking for them and just pound them until they were almost gone and then knock them off the building. But anyway, let's go to the train station. And I'll head to the base if Jelly Girl wants to meet me. Don't know if she does. Alright, so let's head to Talos. I want to sell all these enhancements. And then, I don't know, I'm going to stop. And, in fact, I'll stop right here and I'll see if Jelly Girl wants to meet up. If not, I may do another mission, or I may stop and have some dinner and come back later. But anyway, I'll do another episode later. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is City of Heroes, and I'm Scrapperlock.